And we are off. 2024 has begun. The first movie is released, and it's certainly a movie. It sure is in theaters. I want to start positive, so let's just say that this is definitely the best movie released in 2024 so far. Hey, what's up? My name is John Bonjour. I'm an artist and a film enthusiast. I have not drawn some art for this one, but I would like to enthuse about, I guess, the concept of film and what it could have been. Today we are talking about Night Swim. It was directed by Bryce McGuire, and it stars Wyatt Russell and Kerry Condon. I knew that. I definitely didn't have to look up all three of those names. And look, overall thoughts, it's fine. It's not a good movie. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's a very basic formula kind of haunting movie. The interesting part about this movie, obviously, the hook is that it's like a haunted pool, and you would think that there would be some like really creative things that you could do with a haunted pool, but it just kind of doesn't. It just sort of doesn't. Like there's one decent scare, I think, in the whole movie, and it's done like probably 4 times, and every time you see the exact same progression of shots and reverse shots and wide shots in exactly the same order with pretty much the same pacing, it just kind of loses any of the appeal that it had. I will say, if you're looking for something that's gonna like scare your socks off, this is not it. If you're looking for like a real entry-level horror movie, you don't want to be scared too much, I guess this would be fine. I think there's also a lot of good movies that they've put out that I think would be better for that. But yeah, I guess if you really want to introduce yourself into horror and you just think Night Swim looks just fantastic, knock yourself out. It's fine. As far as my biggest positive goes, I think Wyatt Russell really sells everything that he's doing. He puts the work in to make this character feel like anything. Something the script really doesn't try to do all that much. I appreciate that he is 100% committed to this. Also, Kerry Condon does a very good job of doing the same. She has to kind of be the more grounded straight man if you were going to look at it as a comedy, even though it's not. Sort of. She plays the stable person who has to deal with all of what's going on, and she does a very good job with that. I think, again, with what she's given, she does great. She's just not given anything to really work with. So the cast is solid. It's shot reasonably well. There's a couple of moments that I actually was like, wow, that's creative. You did something with this. There's a lot of moving camera. I feel like jumping in and out of the water, and it's all creative, and that is a thing that definitely kept me going through the movie, is that it felt like someone involved definitely wanted to make this good. Unfortunately, the biggest problem lies in just kind of the rest of the movie, everything else. This just feels kind of bland. It's like it saw a slew of other horror movies and went, well, I can do that, but then it didn't think about how it would improve or even slightly change that whole situation. There's a section of this movie that you could convince me was pulled shot for shot from The Ring, or Smile, or The Conjuring, or Insidious. Like there's the scene that I'm talking about, where somebody finds out that something's going on. They finally acknowledge that there's something bigger happening, so they do some research on their little computer. You get the shots of all the clicking and the going into the websites and finding an image, and it's like, oh, something's happening. And then they go to somebody who happens to have been involved with the situation to get some information, and then that information is the thing that kind of sets the final act in motion. That happens. Like, exactly that. In fact, they even have the dreary driving around shots. This feels like The Ring, but wet. And that's not a compliment in any sense. The problem is, as they were going through the movie, I kept thinking that we were going to do something different and creative with it, and when it didn't happen, it's just really lackluster and disappointing. Throughout my viewing of the film, I feel like I came up with like 18 different better versions of this movie. Specifically, like there's a couple of times where they seem like they're going to lean into a little bit of body horror. That would be interesting, having Wyatt Russell kind of turning into the weird kind of bloated man that we see at one point. That would be something. That would be something to do. It seemed like maybe they were going to tackle an angle with like his son being jealous of this other kid, so maybe his son turns bad. Also would be an interesting thing. Really didn't do anything with it. There was like a whole hand motion thing between the mother and the daughter that kind of came back. It's things like that make me feel like this movie was a good concept, a good short film, which I don't know. I would be shocked if this wasn't based on a short film. Didn't look that up. Probably should have looked that up. Maybe I will in the editing. But I would be blown away if this wasn't based on somebody's short film or short film script that they were like, what if Pool but Haunted? Which is a great idea. It's a great little nugget of a thing. The problem is you have to expand that out into something that's interesting for an hour and a half, and they just kind of didn't. So yeah, that's kind of my takeaway. The technical elements of this movie are all pretty solid. The sound design is fine. It's very passable. It works exactly as it should. It's shot a little bland, but decently well, with some interesting camera angles here and there. The acting's good. The lighting seems fine. And it wasn't noticeably bad, so that's a plus. I just don't really feel like it accomplished anything. It wasn't interesting. It didn't have any kind of story interest past the original, like, what if Pool had a ghost? I just wish it was extrapolated into something that I ever want to watch ever again. Not horrible, just not great. If it's on Netflix and you really want to see it, I don't know. It's probably worth your time, just in the sense that, like, if you really feel like this would be a fun movie, you'll probably appreciate all the things that they thought were fun. But I wouldn't say there's anything that makes this, like, worth seeing in a theater necessarily. There's no standout element that I think has to be seen on the big screen. It's all right. The crowd was fun. The crowd was all right. Actually, you know what? We got a little time. I don't know how this is possible, but the guy next to me was... I didn't look because I was afraid to, but I can only assume, based on the sounds that he was making, he was making love to his popcorn. I have never heard anyone eat popcorn that loud, or that aggressively, or that wet. It was an entirely new experience for me. It was not good, not a good experience. Also, you know what? Hey, now's my time to shine, I guess. Good morning, it's 2024. Don't talk in a theater. Don't talk in a theater. Do you know how easy it is to not talk during a movie? It's so much easier than talking during a movie. Like, it's hard to lean over and say something to your friend when there's, like, loud sounds. You would think the loud sounds might be loud enough to make people think, oh gosh, maybe I shouldn't talk during this movie. Maybe the sounds are supposed to be made by the movie and not me. Not my body and my weird vocal cords. I gotta calm down. Anyway, yeah, just, like, be human beings in a theater and just appreciate that you paid to be here and somebody else also paid to be here, and they didn't pay to hear the Brad commentary. Nobody did. Nobody did that. Nobody wanted that. I don't want that. I don't want to hear Jason's idea of what the burger looks like if he thinks it would taste good on the screen. I don't give a shit. I really don't. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care, Tracy, if you don't think that they should go down the stairs. I really don't. That doesn't apply to my life at all, okay? I'm here to watch the movie. You're here to watch the movie. I'm not here to watch you watch the movie, and you force me to do that when you talk. I'm fine. I am fine. 2024 has been off to a very weird start. Anyway, see Night Swim, don't see Night Swim. I wouldn't recommend it, but, like, do what you want. Thank you for watching this video and checking out my channel. If you'd like to hear more of my thoughts on movies, comics, TV shows, stupid people who talk in theaters, or chew their ice, why would you... Anyway, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below what you'd like me to review next, or do none of those things because I am not your dad.